Morning. All right, so what happens when you're executed? What are the next steps? There's a question that I get all the time, and I feel that I don't know, I feel like as a company, not and I don't mean brokers, I mean in general, when an agent used to ask me, I used to say, like, just read the contract, right? Because your next steps, you know, it in our mind, we feel like the contract tells us what the next steps are, right? Because we're contingent upon certain dates. But the reality is that as soon as you get executed, and I want to know, are you guys taking notes today? Because I do want you guys to write these notes.
Yes, I'm taking notes.
All right, perfect. So as soon as you are executed, one of the very first things that I want you to look at is make sure that all of your addendums that are on, checked off on your contract, that have been added into the contract. One, if your addendums are not there, you're not fully executed. So I want you to make sure that one, you do have those addendums. The very next step after that, I want you to write an email. And that email should be copied to the title company, to the listing agent, the lender, if there's one involved. And if you guys want, copy me in it, especially if you're using brokers, title, and escrow. If I know that you guys have a contract in with brokers, title, I have a lot, more control in regards. I'll start asking them what the status is and stuff like that, if I know that you guys have a contract in there. So I do want an email where you guys copy all of us. One, I like the email copying title and lender, and listing agent, so that everybody knows who's who and everybody knows who's working on this file. Okay. And then from there, okay, after you send out that email, I want you to call inspection company, have them connect with that buyer and start doing the process of inspection, especially if you have 5 days of inspection or less. Okay, I want it to be done right away. So from there, and this is why I'm not sharing my face, because I'm about to share my screen. From there, the very, very next thing that I want you guys to do is, do you guys see my screen? Anyone?
Yes.
Hi.
Yes, I see it.
All right, perfect. So after you guys have made sure that all of your addendums are in, after you guys have written that email copying everyone, after you set up inspections, I want you guys to go into our member site and look up this document, okay? Let me go ahead and show you where that is. So if you are in our desk support, in our member site, under operations, RE documents and bank info, there is this document that's called Residential Critical Event Checklist. And I think that this is one of the most important things that you can do as soon as you receive that contract fully executed. Whether you are the listing agent or you're the buyer's agent, you should be filling this out, okay? And if you are the buyer's agent and you are filling this document out, then I want you to go ahead and email it to the listing agent and to your client, not in the same email. Of course, I don't want you to have the agent and your client in the same email, but I absolutely want you guys to grab this document and send it to the listing agent and to your buyer. And the reason for this is because you're going to have all those important dates in one document that you guys can check off and be on top of at all times. Okay. So far, so good. Do you guys have any questions so far?
Not on this.
And I know that I started just, I went straight into it today, right? Because I will say that most of the issues that have been occurring with contracts lately have been due to these special days, okay, that we have to be on top of. So I want you guys to fill it all out. initial deposit, and the date. Now, where's my dot loop? Give me 1 second. I thought I had opened up. Of course I didn't. Give me 1 second. Thought I did. I might have closed it out earlier. So when you guys are looking at the contract, whether it is the HACIS or if it's the residential contract, you guys are going to have certain dates to keep a track of it, right? So the very, very first thing that pops up onto this contract is when is that escrow going to be deposited? So if you guys come over here, you guys enter that escrow date. The very next one is your condo association disclosure contingency. This is obviously if you have a condo. If you don't have a condo, obviously strike that line out so that it doesn't look like you're missing that information. Financing and loan. When is the application due by? And when is commitment received and confirmed? Okay, your approvals by association, inspection periods, additional deposit. Now, if I'm looking at this contract, right, you have days to enter in this escrow, right? Right after that escrow gets deposited, you need an escrow letter before this day. So make sure that you're on top of your client. As soon as you enter execution, I know that some of you like to tell your clients to wait for escrow until inspection has been completed. You know what? Tell them to do it right away so that if there's any issues with the dates, especially right now that the holidays are coming, you do have that escrow in. After that, you have your closing date. When is that due by? Very next thing is your financing. Right now, I think that most of the issues that are occurring is due to financing. Your loan commitment period is actually the most important. Your loan approval period. It is the most important out of this entire document. It is the only time that the seller can back away if you have not turned that in as of yet. Okay, what does that mean? That you got to be on top and make sure that I've spoken to some of you and you guys are like, oh, but the lender says we're good. No, the lenders are liars. Okay, I don't care if the lender says it's good. Make sure you have that document in time. The seller can back away during this period of time. And what if your lender now gives them a contingency, a loan approval with a whole bunch of contingencies that might not be able to be cleared? So just be on top of this day and extend it if needed. Okay, same thing, enter in this checklist. And if anything needs extension, strike it out and write the new date in. But please, 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 please be on top of these dates. This is pretty much what comes right after you guys get executed. I need you guys to be on top of the lenders. I need you guys to be on top of the lenders and make sure, you know, that your clients apply in time. As you guys see, the contract gives them 5 days to apply. I've been telling you guys, especially right now during the holidays, don't give your clients 5 days to apply, give them 3. Tell them to gather all of their documents really fast and apply within 3 days to that loan. Because if they do wait for those 5 days and that loan becomes, needs to get extensions, we're gonna be hitting that holiday period very soon. You guys have Thanksgiving coming up. Most banks are closed Thursday and Friday, okay? We're gonna be hitting Christmas, New Year's, all those days. Make sure, please make sure that your clients are applying to their loan on time. If they don't apply within 5 days, they are in breach of contract. So if on day 7, they still haven't applied and the listing agent asks you if your client has applied, you guys are in breach of contract, okay? Apart from the dates of this contract, if you guys have any addendas checked off in here, especially your condo writers have certain dates in there that you guys need to go by to apply for the condo. You guys have certain dates to be approved by the condo. You guys have certain days to receive condo docs. You guys have certain days to review the condo docs in order to pull out of this contract. So I need you guys to have all those dates in order. Another one that's really big, especially lately, has been your appraisals. Your appraisals, if you enter the appraisal addendum, it has 10 days before closing in there. So you need to write that down. If you guys entered that, this contract, where is it? It's number 6. Hello?
About the appraisal addendum.
What about it?
Hi, does anybody have a question? All right, on number 6, it says if property is going to be leased, it has 5 days. 5 days to turn in the lease and then 5 days to review that lease. So those periods need to be written down. Okay, because let's say we're on day 6 and now your buyer's the one reviewing this lease that they've been turned in, and for any reason they do not like the terms of the lease, they cannot back away from this contract due to it. Does this make sense? Do you guys have any questions? Is there something that you feel that you are doing wrong or that you feel you need to learn more about when it comes to what happens after your contract becomes executed?
Andreina,
I can't really hear you. What was that?
we have a question related to appraisals. Addendum, is an addendum required if the appraisal is contingent? You know, if the loan is contingent on the appraisal?
No, it is only required if you have a cash buyer and they want to do the appraisal contingency. But if it is financing, under the terms of your financing contingencies, it does speak about appraisal, and you already have that in there. You can negotiate or back away without losing monies if it's a part of your financial contingency.
Okay, Serge has another question.
Yeah, I have one quick question. Let's just say that the buyer is willing to pay an additional $10,000 over appraisal. In that case, you also need the addendum, just so it's clear and it's writing that that's the case, correct? You will use that? I never
Not
had this happen.
necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily. You can also write it on additional terms.
Okay.
Here's a problem with additional terms. And I feel like I want to do a class on additional terms only, even if the class is like 20 minutes long, right?
Okay.
The contract itself, even what you guys write in additional terms, it is in very literal language. Okay.
Right.
What do I mean by that? That if we write an additional terms, buyer will pay $10,000 above appraised value,
Yeah.
right? Then that doesn't speak about the seller. That does not say that the seller is going to be willing to sell that house no matter what it appraises at. And it also doesn't say that the buyer is going to pay $10,000 above appraised value, not to exceed purchase price. So let's say you guys have a contract that's $400,000, it appraises at $399, and your line says buyer's willing to pay up to $10,000 above appraised value. You know, your client just ended up paying $409, right? Because it's very, very literal language. So no matter what it is that you write in additional terms, I always say, just make sure that there is no way around it, right? I like playing with additional terms a lot. My best friend was buying a house and I said, instead of putting will pay or agrees to pay, you know, we went around that, you know, willing to pay. We use the word willing. Willing does not mean will pay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and up to
Up to purchase price, or
to-
willing to pay up to, that way it's open to 5 instead of 10.
Right.
I love playing with additional terms because it is very little language. And if you know that, and you know that there is no assumptions or, ways to look around it, you can play and manipulate the contract a lot based on who your client may be. Now, obviously, you could use that appraisal. Where is it? The appraisal contingency. This is B, that's F. Which one would be for the houses? You guys also do know, this is also a very good one that most agents actually do not know, that you do have to use the addendums that pertain to the actual contract that you're using. So in this case, appraisal is F. Is letter F. So if I go to appraisal, you see how this one ends with the letter B?
Yeah.
That wouldn't be the appraisal addendum I need. This one that ends in the letter F is the one that goes with the has-is. Does that make sense?
This is news.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys understand this, right? You guys have to use the addendums that belong to your contracts. And I'm going to give you guys another example now. So this is your appraisal contingency. And, if you guys are using this, it says, hold on, let me take out the Zoom windows. It says this contract is contingent upon buyer obtaining at buyer's expense a written appraisal from a licensed Florida appraisal on or before, and this is 10 days before closing. I like for you guys to get your appraisals early on, because I think that's what is delaying, especially now during the holidays, is what will delay your loan approvals. And then it says, stating that the appraised value of the property is at least, the purchase price. So if your client is willing to pay $10,000 more above appraisal, that's not what's written in here. Does this make sense? So if your client is willing to pay $10,000 above appraisal, you guys, do need to write that in additional terms. Over here, it could be $10,000 less than, $10,000 less than the purchase price, but that still doesn't say your client is going to pay that difference. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't leave it open for
You guys
interpretation.
don't even- Yeah. Now, I have noticed, I don't know who's here that is a Weston agent, but a lot of the Weston agents were using this addendum to contract. I think it's this one. We're using this. No, that's the one you guys should be using for the has-is. You guys were using, I believe it's one of those. No. And I do want to show it to you guys because it would be the wrong one. This were sell contract when the property is being sold as a co-op. No, addendum to vacant. No, let's hold on. Extension addendum. This is it. A lot of the Weston agents were using this extension addendum to extend your contracts, the closing date or the financial period. I want you guys to know that this extension addendum is not for the has-is contract. This extension addendum is only for the residential sale and purchase of residential contract for sale and purchase, vacant land, commercial contract. That is it. Nowhere in there does it say has-is. So this extension would not be valid if you guys are using this document. Okay. And a lot of you guys were using it in Weston. I mean, I need you guys to make sure that the addendums and riders that you guys do add into your contract actually belong to the contract that you're working on. To extend a regular has-is, you guys need to write it out. Buyer and seller agree to extend the closing date to be on and before, and then, that day. That's why I'm saying I think I want to do a class on just additional terms because the wording is so important. But in regards to being now executed and what comes next, for me, the biggest thing that you guys are not doing that is for me, one of the most important things that you guys should be doing is filling out this document, sending it over to the listing agent, and sending it over to your buyer so that they are also aware of the dates that are important or contingent upon the contract. Another thing that I feel you guys are not doing is that you guys are not informing the listing agent and the lender and the title, who everybody is. You guys kind of wait for that title company to send you that that paper where you state who everybody is going to be in this transaction. I don't want you guys to wait for that. I want you guys to grab that execute a contract, form an email that says, hello, everyone, please see attached, execute a contract, this, brand new transaction we're working on. I have copied lender, title, listing agent, as well as my office, if you guys want to copy me in it, so I could be on top of title. Everybody here is in the same email. Please keep us all pretty much involved when it comes to communication, and then call it a day. That way everybody gets it at the same time. Everybody knows and sees who's who, and you're good to go on that end. And then from there, call that inspection company as soon as possible. Get the inspection done. And I'm seeing that you guys, like the buyers are kind of waiting. I don't know what it is that they're waiting for, but I do want you guys to not wait for inspections. Get that done as soon as possible. If you guys could do it within the first 2 days of execution is ideal. Try and see what company you guys are using. I know that I love, who I refer to you guys, but whatever company you're using, try and get that report within, 24 hours of that inspection. Because that is the one moment where the buyer will ask for credits at first, or ask for repairs or back away. That is like your very first moment of, all right, we're getting to know this property on a deeper level. So get that done as soon out of the way, so you don't waste much time with anybody. And if you get it done within that first 5 days where you need to apply to the loan, that would save everybody a lot of time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, any questions?
Hey, Andrina, it's Monica. I have a question, which maybe it's because I recently took the real estate course, and when they refer to an executed contract in the course, they mean a
Yes.
contract that's done and closed. They called a contract that has been just signed and agreed to by everyone executory.
All right, so you're never gonna hear that word again.
So I'm like, okay, everyone says executed all the time, but that's not what the class says.
No, execute a contract for us means it's been signed by all parties. Okay, and it is not a fully executed contract until it has been delivered to all parties. So if you are the buyer's agent who just got that that contract back, signed, executed by the sellers, right?
Mhm.
It is not executed fully until you have delivered it to your client. Okay, because the client, it's when the last party not has just signed, but also delivered it. Okay, and one of the very cool things that I like about this, the new HACCP contract that's coming out November 1st, Monday, one of my most favorite things that contract is that it speaks of time. And now time is not based on where your clients are located. Now time is based on where that property is located. So I think that that's going to be a major change that I am very happy about. Denise, do you have a question?
I was going to ask you something about the extension addendum. You said you have to use something else. We have to write it on a blank extension addendum?
On a blank addendum form.
Okay, got it. Like the one that you opened up and it was like nothing on it, right?
Correct, that one. Correct. your addendum to contract, which you guys use all the time. Okay, this is a contract, and then you would be writing in here, buyer and seller agree to extend the closing date to be on and or before. Guys, if you're extending closing dates, extend your loan commitment period as well. That is my biggest piece of advice every day lately. I mean, I know I'm seeing more and more that the lenders are taking a bit longer for approvals. And unfortunately, you guys are not extending that loan commitment period, and you guys are putting a lot of money at risk for your clients. Okay, any other questions? I mean, I think I've pretty much, you know, went over the, you know, the biggest details of when you are executed, what comes next. For me, like I mentioned, it's that email copying everybody, and then making sure you fill this out, giving a copy to that listing agent, giving a copy to your client, and keep this in order. If you are somebody who works with technology calendar, like your Google calendars, Outlook calendars, I do want you guys to set up alerts and set up ringers and all types of, you know, reminders for when these dates are coming up close. Somebody asked me the other day, all right, so after the client has applied to a loan, how often should I be on top of the lender? If it's at the very beginning, I would call him one or twice a week. Hey, how are we doing? Can I assist you with anything? What's going on? Is it in underwriting yet? Has the loan been submitted? And then as you guys start getting close to that loan commitment period, I want to say like 5 days before loan commitment period is about to expire, I need you guys to start asking the lenders, hey, should I be asking for an extension? If you guys see that day 3 comes and you guys still don't have that clear to close or that loan approval without contingent, if it has contingencies, you got nothing. So if it has contingencies, I want you guys to, you know, speak to the lender, hey, where's the loan approval? Is it going to have any contingencies that cannot be cleared, you know, right away? What are we looking at? If he does not answer, get an extension. And your extensions should be, you know, to be closing on and or before. That way, if by miracle of God, you do get that, you know, loan approval and that clear to close, you can still close on the day of your original day. But at least, you know, if you don't get that clear to close, you guys are already setting yourself up, you know, with an extra 5 days or an extra 10 days, you know. Have excellent communication with your lenders. Even if you don't pick the lender, let's say your buyer already comes with that pre-approval and they use their lender, they become your best friend for 30 to 45 days. So please do make sure that you guys have excellent communication with them. Don't, you know, it's not a you against them or man, they're gonna mess this up for me. This is a teamwork. Let's all work together. Have excellent communication with the title agent. I don't say it because they're part of brokers, but I love our title team. They're very, very good at what they do and they communicate very well. I'm on top of them at all times. So if for any reason I don't feel like it, or I feel like, oh man, there's a violation on a property or there's a lien or, you know, or an open permit that, you know, your client didn't know about, please be on top of them. They should know what's going on with that property within 10 days of full execution, at most 14. And I say at most because a lot of cities close on Fridays. So it's like 1 day less that they get to work on it. But, you know, have excellent communication with your title, have excellent communication with your lender, have excellent communication with your clients, and have excellent communication with that listing agent. With the new contract that comes out on November 1st, in order for them to find out status of what's going on, they have to send it to you in writing, and your client needs to write in writing authorization for anybody to keep them updated with that, with the process of where they're at. So have excellent communication with everybody so that there's no problems and you guys now start demanding, you know, everything in writing because that is what that contract calls for. So, you know, just communicate very well. They become your best friends for the next 30 to 45 days. If you're a brand new agent that has never done a contract, the other side does smell you. They do know that you're new, but I want you to not show any insecurity or fear. I want you to act like this is your 10th contract in and lean on me for any guidance. I don't want you guys to ever feel insecure because you're working on a contract you've never done. No matter how many classes you have taken, once you're in the middle of that first transaction, it's as if you've never taken a class, right? You become very insecure about the next steps. I don't want you to feel insecure. I want you guys to have confidence in yourself that you guys can do it, but lean on me for any questions. And do not show the listing agent at any time that you guys have never done a contract before. I've never done a transaction before. Okay. And yes. Hello. Natalia?
I said, thank you.
Oh, why?
Saying that we could lean on you.
Yeah, at any time. I have an agent now that I tell her every day, I regret giving her my number, right? Because it's from 7 in the morning. She's doing her very, very first transaction, but she also has a full-time job. So from 7:30 in the morning, she is texting me and sending me voice notes. And I mean, it's all day till like 8:30 at night when I tell her, listen, good night. Like, that's it, you know? But she's been leaning on me. And the agent on the other side has zero clue that it's her first transaction, to the point where, you know, she's asking him for things that he had no idea that he needed certain dates for, which is great because it makes her feel like she's in control and she's doing that transaction and she gets more confident within herself. So I feel like that's the most important thing. Like, I want you guys to feel confident. You guys can do it. Do not show any fear, and anything you guys don't know, I need you guys to lean on me. That's what I'm here for. And then we can handle it together. I don't get involved in your transactions, meaning I'm not going to speak to that listing agent. I'm not going to speak to the lender. I'm not going to be on top of the dates with you, but I need you guys to double check with me, right? Like, and then I'm putting 40 days for loan commitment, right? And then put it in your calendar and fill out this sheet and send out your emails. And, you know, together we can figure things out, because now I know that you do have this transaction ongoing and that you guys are going to need that extra time with me during the next 30 to 45 days, you know? And I think that's the most important thing, that you guys do feel that you can speak to me every day until this thing closes, because if not, anything can arise. But you know, it is what it is. This is what you guys got your license for, right? To put all these documents together and get things closed. Any other questions, any other comments or insecurities that you guys might have in regards to after it does get executed? What do we do from here?
Nope, we're good. Thank you so much.
You're super welcome.
Hi, Andreina. Where we can find this one? I did IXO to do this dates, but
Right,
I don't
so
know where we can find this one.
it's in the desk support for brokers under operations, RE documents and bank info. And it's called Residential Critical Events Checklist. And when you
Thank
click on it,
you.
it's here. I wanna upload it into Dotloop. The reason why I have not uploaded it to Dotloop is because I was waiting to see the changes of the contract, to see how that would change. You know, we didn't know what the changes were going to be. Now that I know that it's not major changes, it's only kind of vocabulary. They've made it very easy for us to understand the contract now. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and upload this there and have you guys use it as a, I don't know if Julieta uploaded it, because we were having conversations about this and we just didn't know. Let's see. Checking cancellations. Yeah, it's not up there yet, but it will be. Before Monday, it will be up there, okay? We don't want to upload it without knowing what the changes of that new contract were going to be. Now that it's up there, now that we know what those changes are, I will be uploading it very soon. And activating the line so you guys can fill it up on Dotloop. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Any other comments? Anything that's going on? All right, so with that said, that is the class. Again, if this is your first transaction you guys are working on, please do lean on me. We can fill all this out together via Zoom or in person. You guys can come and see me anytime. I know that I'm in Weston for those of you who work out of Aventura, but if you call me and you set up an appointment, I will go to Aventura and see you, and I will get the Weston office covered for the day. I don't want you guys to feel like, oh man, but she's all the way over there. Like, we got options. We got Zoom, we can schedule it, we can meet together. That's not a problem. And for those of you that are on here, whether you're Aventura or Weston, we are having the Halloween party in the Weston office this Friday. I'm encouraging everybody to come and hang out with me for a little while.
Thank you.
Who's laughing?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. So have an amazing Wednesday. And if you guys need me, please do call me.
Thank you so much, Andrea.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You're welcome, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.